Can you dig it, Carl?
I can dig it. Welcome back, everyone, to the podcast, Windy City Digits. That's Vic. I'm Carl, where we talk all things Chicago sports. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We do really appreciate it. And today's episode is going to be brought to you by the Digit 5. We're going to talk about number 5. That's what today's show is going to be circling around, okay? And then at the end, we're going to talk about, since today is April 5th, we're going to talk about our favorite number 45s in Chicago sports. So stay tuned for that. So first, let's start out number 5. We'll start today's show with talking about Bulls. So currently the Bulls sit in the 5th position. They play Milwaukee tonight at home. So I think right now we are tied with Toronto, but we have the tiebreaker against Toronto. So what do you think about, do you think you're going to be able to hang on to that 5th position?
No.
You don't?
Do you want me to expand on that? Because no.
Oh, please do. We're all waiting on bated breath. We're waiting to hear what it exactly is that you have to say.
What do you think?
It's not about me. It's about the fans out there. It's about all of you out there watching. So
the fans think we're going to end up in number 6. That's what the Twitter world says, man.
I didn't ask what Twitter world. I asked what you thought.
Number 6.
Okay.
We need to win one game, or the Cavs will lose. The Cavs will for sure lose one. It would be great to have the Bulls win one against the Bucks and actually show that we can beat one of those top tier
3 teams.
Yep, but I don't see it happening the way they're playing. They need Kobe is sucked. He's like rotting right now.
So if we finish 5th, where we currently are, we will be going up against the Sixers. If we finish 6th, we could be going up against Milwaukee. Now, Philadelphia and Milwaukee have the same record, so they could flip-flop also. But
correct.
If you had a choice, who would you rather go up against, Sixers or the Bucks? Which one do you think we have a shot against?
Dear Lord, man, if we literally can play defense for 48 minutes and move the ball. So, I mean, that's like saying the Bulls will play perfectly. I think we could beat either one of them, but we would have to do it consistently over a number of games. I don't see it happening. I see us playing either the Sixers and the Bucks and maybe winning a game, possibly, out of those 4. I think we lose 4 games to 1.
I think we have a better shot against Milwaukee.
So what would you say?
We're obviously we haven't been able to beat Embiid since he's been in the league. The chances of us beating them for 4 games in a 7-game series is kind of slim. But I would say if we go against the Sixers, we probably lose 4-1. If we go up against the Bucks, I'll say it'll go 7.
Oh man, okay. I would be ecstatic about that. So that'd be amazing. If the Bulls do that, I'd be happy with their season.
I think we have a lot of wild cards. The Bucks are pretty much set. They've had everyone playing, right? We still have a lot of wild cards. The question really is, man. Hey, listen. The question really is, does Lonzo come back? And if he does come back, how much of an impact does he actually make?
Okay, so Billy just had an interview with Dave Kaplan. I forget what the name of his podcast is, but Billy says that obviously they're ramping him up again, and they're going to get to the point where last time when he started developing the knee pain, when he was going full at it, and he goes, if they have that knee pain, they're going to have to pull him back. So it's anyone's guess. If
kind of fluid, huh?
What's going on in that knee? I'm assuming it's not structural. It's just a matter of recovery still. Right?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I still think if Lonzo plays, he's, you want to believe he's going to have fresh legs, right? But the question really is, how much is he really going to be able to play?
Correct.
And
his passing alone I mean, his eyesight and his passing, even if he's not fully healthy, would be great. That part, his length would be nice against some of the taller guards. Yeah, I don't know, man, but 7, God, no way. All right.
Yeah,
I'll owe you a pizza. I'll owe you. We'll go to Chasers because we're a big fan of Chasers out there, Lake Zurich and near where Carl lives.
Shout out to Pete at Chasers.
You're gonna have to put that as a tag.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Peter at Chasers. Your pizza's on you.
I'll be excited. I'll be excited though. Honestly, I mean the Bulls just getting in the playoffs compared to last year, compared to the last couple of years, is still good progress. So even if we lose, I'm anxious to see what AK does to the lineup over the summer. That'll be exciting for Bulls fans too.
Yeah, I think so. Well, look, the reality is none of us ever expected to be in this spot, right? I mean, we kind of figured that we might make the play-in tournament. Maybe try to get in the playoffs there, but we're definitely ahead of schedule, right? As far as where we thought we were going to be, and there's a lot of interesting decisions to be made in the offseason, which we'll talk about in another episode, but we'll see how this one plays out. So, all right. So that's enough for the Bulls today. So now we are going to move on to baseball. The Major League season starts on Thursday. I know my beloved White Sox start out against Detroit. Who are you guys starting the season off against?
I don't even know, man. I'm just watching.
What a good Cub fan you are. So we start out. Actually, we start out our first game is on Friday at Detroit. Sticking with the number 5, we're going to talk about the starting 5 rotations for each team. So,
go ahead, man. We'll start off with the Sox. Okay, Cubs.
Let's start with the Cubs.
All right, so let's start off with the Cubs. First of all, our number one starter, and for the opening day is Kyle Hendricks, the professor. The professor.
Who's been how many years in a row has he started opening day now?
This is going to be his 3rd year in a row.
Okay.
So talking about the difference between him and picking Marcus Stroman, who was their big free agent acquisition over the winter. Kyle Hendricks has got a career 83-55 record. That's pretty darn good, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
3.36 ERA. And then you got Marcus Stroman, career 61-60.
Well, I think it was a good pickup.
A great pickup and a 3.63 ERA. So I think his win-loss record is not indicative of like the teams he's been on. How good he can pitch, because with 3.63 he should have a better record than that. He has a 3.6 WAR compared to Kyle Hendricks, who only has a 0.9. So those are their two top pitchers, and then after that, Wade Riley. Wade Riley is on the 10-day disabled list, so we don't have him. He would be a solid number 3. So instead of him, we've got the 2 guys we picked up, Smiley and Steele, and then we've got who knows for a number 5. We've got Alec Mills, who's I don't know, his ERA right now in the spring training is like probably 12-16.
Mr. No-hitter.
Jesse Chavez.
Was it no-hitter or perfect game? Was that
Alec Mills? Yeah.
Yeah. Was it no-hitter, right?
Yes, it was a no-hitter. Okay. And then we've got a nice arm, Roberts, young guy. We just found out that he was going to make the team. Decent top 2, and then 3 through 5. It's like a crapshoot, man. You're playing craps. Who knows what you're going to get? Time will tell. I think Smiley and Steele might have some, some good possibilities, but
so looking at it here on MLB.com, it looks like you said, the opening day starter is Hendricks. The game for the second game, you guys are throwing out Steele for the second game, and then Stroman is going to start the third game.
Yep.
Is the way I see it here listed so far. So how are you feeling about that starting five? I like as a Sox fan, I don't know too much about the lineup
I'm more
you guys are
happy.
throwing out there.
I was happy with picking up Wade Riley from the Reds over the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned about his shoulder stiffness and a 10-day disabled list. If we had those three, Stroman, Hendricks, and him, I'd be happy. And then you'd have Smiley and Steele pitching. I think you've got a decent starting lineup. Not great, better than last year.
Yeah.
So it's progress. It's moving forward. I think that's all we can ask for Cubs fans right now. Although I know plenty of Cubs fans out there think we should be spending a lot of money, but I think that's the wrong way to do it right now. We kind of needed to rebuild, and that's what we're doing, even though the Cubs told them we weren't going to do that. Kind of like the Bears, man.
Yeah, with the Bears, they're that's a whole regime change.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily a rebuild, but that's just a whole change in philosophy and all that stuff. So
it feels like a rebuild.
All right, well,
so what about
the South
Sox?
side? Yeah, on the South side, obviously we lost we're going to lose Lynn for about 8 weeks. He has the torn meniscus when he got hurt in the game the other day. So that one hurts us a little bit. But to be honest, I would obviously rather have that injury at the start of the season rather than at the end of the season. I think early enough for the first 8 weeks, especially like in April, I think there are enough games canceled and there's enough space between the games that I don't think he's going to miss a whole lot of starts in April. Come May, it'll be a little bit different, but I don't think it's going to hurt us too much per se early. But again, I'd rather have that injury sooner than later. But as far as the Sox are concerned, Lucas Giolito's got the opening day starter. I think this is his third year as his opening day starter. Then we do have
this
Dylan
is Sox
Cease,
fans.
Dylan Cease, Michael Kopech, and Dallas Keuchel. And then depending on the day, if it's something where we need to go to a fifth pitcher, depending on the days off and games canceled and stuff like that, we could either go to Ronaldo Lopez, who's started for us in the past, or we can go to the new acquisition, Vince Velasquez, who hasn't had a great spring at all.
He had a good game today against the Cubs.
Yeah, I think he's rounding into shape. That's the other thing I think that people seem to tend to forget. Look, there was a lockout, right? And I gotta believe that some of these injuries are going to come up because I'm going to assume there's going to be more injuries that are going to come up at the beginning of the year, just because these guys haven't been able to go into the facilities and train and work out like they normally would, right? And they kind of rush the spring training along. So hopefully there aren't too many other major injuries. But Fernando Tatis? He's out for 3 months because he has a broken wrist or something like that. And they said he hurt it training on his own over the winter, and he couldn't get medical attention. He couldn't get the surgery he needed until the lockout was over, so that was kind of one of the casualties also for,
I did not hear that he could not get surgery until that was over.
Yeah. They wouldn't allow him to get the surgery until the lockout was over because he couldn't get evaluated by the team doctors.
Oh, that's thanks. Did you see my sad face for Sox fans?
Well, we appreciate that, but we're going to be just fine.
Sox fans were really happy about AJ Pollock, and then all of a sudden you lost. Who's the guy that throws 100? Horrible loss, and then you hear Lance Lynn walking off the field, gimpy and stuff. Sox fans were sad.
I think the one saving grace for Sox fans is that we do have that big lineup. And 1 through 9, and all of them can hit. And hopefully we're going to be able to cover up, especially when that fifth starter takes the mound. Hopefully we're going to be able to.
Okay, another big thing out there Sox fans were talking about was Sean Manaea, and hoping Rick Hahn would go after him. And then as soon as people were talking about it, he got picked up by the Padres. So do you think that was a mistake by Hahn or more calculated, something he wants to wait and see, and then maybe he's going to pick up a starter before.
I don't remember the numbers.
Deadline.
Do you know what the numbers were for that guy? Like, what did he sign for with the Padres?
No, I don't. I know he's 50-41 win-loss record over, I don't know, 7 years in 3.86 ERA. He would have been a good replacement for Rodon. And I guess Keuchel's not pitching. No, not Kopech is not looking very good right now. People are really concerned
Kopech's
about
coming
it.
into the starting lineup right now, and the starting rotation where he's kind of. I think he's just kind of working his way around. I think he's going to be just fine. Like maybe he has a rough start or two at the beginning of the season. Again, it's one of those things where we didn't have a normal. He wasn't able to come in and work with the coaches and kind of work on things he normally does. So. It wouldn't surprise me if each of these guys has a bad start or two, over the first couple of weeks. Hopefully not too much, but again, I'm confident that our lineup is going to be able to cover any of those mistakes, hopefully, because the guys that are in the lineup seem to be hitting the ball pretty well in spring. We'll see what happens when they travel north, and they're hitting in Detroit and Chicago for the first 2 weeks of the season, when it's a little bit colder than what they're playing to in Arizona. So we'll see, but baseball starts this week. I don't know about you. Are you excited about baseball starting?
I'm excited to talk about baseball. How about that? I'm excited about Bulls playoffs, baseball starting, and then in another couple of weeks, we're talking about Bears draft. Yeah. We should do a live Bears draft one if we can. That'd be fun.
Leave your comments down below. What do you guys think about that? If you guys think you'd be interested in watching that or just kind of joining along with us on as far as doing a live stream or something like that during the Bears draft. I know we don't have a first round, but maybe during the second round or how that goes. I dig it. And then the last thing we're going to talk about today, since today is April 5th, we're going to talk about the number 45s, which players have worn the 45 for each of these organizations. So I think the obvious one for the Bulls is Michael Jeffrey Jordan in the return, wearing 45. I think the great Ed Neely wore 45 also before Michael Jordan, if I'm correct. Right?
So did Denzel Valentine, man.
And Denzel Valentine. I don't know. I wonder if you have to get special permission, but, I would take Ed Neely over Denzel Valentine. As far as
Ed Neely was the enforcer.
Yes, he was.
Ed Neely wasn't very good either.
Did Jack Haley wear 45?
Rasul Butler wore 45, man, for the Bulls.
Did
who?
Jack? I just said his name, and now it's escaped my Jack Haley. Did Jack Haley wear 45?
He did not.
Maybe it was 54 he wore.
How about some Sox players, man?
Sox players, Garrett Crochet, who just went down.
That's perfect.
Wore 45.
But you've got some really popular Sox players that wore 45.
Number 45, El Caballo. Carlos Lee.
Yep.
Wore 45.
All right, you got reliever. What year did they win the championship? What year did they win the championship?
This is escaping me. I know this.
Wasn't he the one that made the final pitch?
Bobby Jenks.
Yeah. Did he make the final? Yes.
The guy that did, when they talk about that, when he made the final out, AJ Brzezinski, who was the catcher, said he made sure he jumped on top of Bobby Jenks because he was afraid if Bobby Jenks jumped on top of him, he was just going to crush him. And he was just going to be in the bottom of the dog pile.
That's hilarious.
He would have been the bottom of the pile. So he said he made sure we went out there. There's no way in hell he was going to let Bobby Jenks jump on top of him because he knew that he was going to be at the bottom of that pile and he was probably never going to get up. So that's shout hilarious. Out to AJ for thinking ahead. So
I'm looking at
what about for the Cubs?
All right, the Cubbies, 45. Paul Ossenbacher. How do you spell? It used to be a good. Used to be kind of a funny thing, Cubs fans, or maybe Harry Carey would say, "How do you spell relief?"
That's how you spell it backward.
How do you spell relief, Steve Stone?
Ossenbacher spelled backwards.
You say that backwards. All right, the only other guy you got Terry Mulholland and Sean Marshall. Those are some of the recent Cubs players.
Yeah.
that wore.
I like Sean
But how
Marshall.
about-
I thought he was a good pitcher.
Sean Marshall was okay, not bad. Okay, so how about the Bears?
Well, the obvious one to me is Gary Fencik,
Amen,
45.
bro.
right?
Yeah,
That's
we should
the
play
obvious
the
one.
The shuffling song. So he
I
was
could- you want
so
me to-
just some do it. Go ahead.
I don't think Windy City Digits Nation wants to see that, but maybe if
Come
people
on,
comment
man.
below, maybe people
If I
comment
have-
below, and I'll do
If
it
I
the
had
next
the
episode.
lyrics, if I had the lyrics, I would do it right now. All right. So did you know Gary Fencik had a career 38 interceptions?
That sounds right.
I did that. That's amazing, man. He's
There was
selected
quite
to
a
Pro
few of them.
Bowl.
If I remember, I doubt there's. Maybe you can look it up on YouTube or something. But I remember there were a couple of plays because he played with Doug Plank, who was 46, who's famous. That's the reason why they call it the 46 defense after Doug
Yeah.
Plank. But I remember there was quite a few plays where Plank would hit the guy, a ball would bounce up in the air, and Fencik was the guy, guy on the spot that was
Yeah.
able to get those interceptions.
He only had
so he
one
has-
career TD.
Didn't he
He
have
got
an
13
interception in the
fumbles.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, maybe. We'd have to go back in time, man. But good
you
old
want me to sing
45
Huey
Gary
Lewis in the
Fencik. I
news,
once
too?
played. I once played pickup basketball with Gary Fencik at Queen of. God, what was it called? Queen of Angels gym.
Yeah.
The Bulls used to practice there. I think it's called Queen of Angels. No,
Yeah.
I think that's that. I think that's that church that burned down. That can't be right.
Did he kick
I
your
forget
ass?
what it was, but if somebody knows, no, he was small, man.
That's not what I
a
asked.
lot of
I didn't ask if it was small. I asked if he kicked your ass.
no. Watch your
Okay.
language, young man.
Family show.
This is
I
a
know.
children's show.
Yes. Did he kick your butt?
So amigo.
Well, all right. Well, so
That-
those are the
that's it, man.
45s
That's
we covered.
Syrah. Dig it.
That's the cover. We covered the
Digits.
45s. Hey, listen, we really want to thank everyone that's been tuning in to the channel and subscribing. We're currently over 200 subscribers. We're going for that magic 250 mark. Hopefully we'll get that this week. If you haven't had a chance yet, hit that subscribe button down below. We really do appreciate it. Hit the like button.
Twitter.
That really helps us a lot with the like button. Even if you don't like the episode, hit the like button anyway.
Like it and comment.
Yeah, if there was a
And-
dig it
and-
button, that would be perfect. Like
That would
instead
be
of the
cool.
like, if
By
we
the
could
way-
get a dig it button.
Okay, another plug. I purchased something from a place called Obvious Shirts. They're starting a new business. We're going to do a giveaway. Stay tuned for that. For
Sweet. Do I
future
get a shirt?
episodes. No, you don't get a shirt, man.
What?
No shirt for you.
I'm the co-host of the
These are-
show and I don't get
These are for
nothing.
the subscribers.
All right.
Nothing.
Well,
for,
maybe
no-
we should do
no-
something. So maybe we, when we do
shirt
that,
for
leave a
you.
comment below, and then we'll pick a random person who leaves comments and below. We'll pick a random person to get T-shirts. How's that sound?
It's too early to do that. I'm just telling you. It's
We're
going
just thinking ahead. Just
Stay
ahead.
tuned.
So stay tuned.
All right,
More
Gil.
merchandise coming. Again, we do appreciate
Peace
everyone
out.
tuning in. Follow us on Twitter. We appreciate everyone that's following us in the Twitterverse. Really good interaction on Twitterverse. Anything we've talked about today, leave comments down below. We talk about the Bulls and their positioning, Cubs, White Sox. Are you interested about the season coming up? And then where you think the Bulls are going to finish in the playoffs. Bulls play tonight against the Bulls. I think we're going to try to do a post game tonight, right? Yes?
Yeah,
No?
we are. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, we are, man.
A couple games left, so we're going to try to get them all, the rest of them. And then we're going to try to do a playoff special with our boys over Cognac Boys, right? We're going to try to do an episode with them before we
we got a bunch
hit
of
the playoffs,
possibilities,
so-
buddy.
yeah. So everyone, thanks again for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
Dig
Peace.
it.